I love the New York Times Daily Podcast. I listen to it every morning when I have my coffee. Yes, call me a dedicated libtard if you want. I self-identify as a libertarian, so go fuck yourself. Anyway, this morning, Natalie Kitrov interviewed Ben Cesario, I think is the name of the reporter, regarding the P. Diddy Sean Combs sex trafficking trial in New York City. Now, there was this huge tell in this episode that I want to call out as the self-identifying libtard-loving libertarian. And here it is. At the end of the podcast, when they did a summary of the trial and their analysis of it, Natalie said that this trial exemplifies pretty much, and I paraphrase just for the sake of example here, the boundaries of power and accountability. So you do things, you're rich, you're a celebrity, you're powerful, and then how much accountability do you have for your actions vis-a-vis society? And then the reporter shook his head, proverbially, because it's an audio podcast, and he repeated that statement from Natalie, that it's really about society's acceptance of certain behavior and the accountability for actions of the powerful. Now, what was missing in that, to me, and again, as a tell, being this libertarian kind of dude, is no, the trial doesn't focus on that at all. What the trial focuses on, per a prior rant that I did this morning, is the boundary of government. It's not about what the rich and powerful do and their accountability for their actions per se. It's the role and range of government to come on down and dictate how otherwise consenting adults live their lives and do their thing. Now, this is not a judgment about freak-offs or sex orgies or lifestyles of the rich and infamous. This is an observation about, again, the boundaries of government and the role that federal and local authorities play and can play in our lives. And again, as I mentioned in that prior rant, it's not dismissing the abuse, the apparent abuse and suffering of these women and countless other women and all the people involved. I'm not alleging that there wasn't abuse or there wasn't suffering. I'm merely pointing out that the New York Times, this libtard legacy media outlet, their best journalists, and now the Daily is tip top. I love it just because it's such great storytelling. They're so professional, so awesome. Before I left New York City, before I loved then hated New York City and got the fuck out of New York City, I actually saw Michael Barbaro in person at a New York Daily event because they won a podcast award. I'm in New York, and one of the great things about New York, even when you fucking hate New York City, is you can get to do this shit. I live in Lake Forest, California, folks. Look, you see that? There's a plant right fucking there in a stairway in an empty fucking parking lot. That's it, and I love it. But I digress. One of the great things of living in New York is you get to do shit like that, and I did shit like that. So what I am ranting about now is that, yes, the legacy media has a point of view. And when the very best journalists at the New York Times, it doesn't even enter their head to consider the boundaries of government. It doesn't even enter their mind, and they're super smart and educated and engaged. That is the problem. I sound like Pepe Le Pew.